everyone, welcome back. Today's practice is going to be a restorative, slow flow, a little bit of a vinyasa. We're just going to play around with some movement. I am still nursing my ankle injury, so I'm going to be keeping things pretty gentle, very beginner friendly. I'm not going to cue any props, but please feel free to incorporate a block or a strap in your practice in this flow wherever you see fit. We're going to get started with just our gentle seat. So find a seat, something that feels good for you. It might be cross-legged, butterfly pose, legs out front, however feels good. Sit up nice and tall, let the shoulders come down, keep the chin up high, turn the palms up towards the sky, and take a few deep breaths. Allow the eyes to close, allow the shoulders to grow a little heavier. Increase that space between the tops of the shoulders and the ears. While we're here, taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I'm just going to remind you that throughout today's practice, if anything feels uncomfortable, painful, straining, feel free to stop. Please listen to your body and find a pose that feels good and like it's working for you. Likewise, if something feels really good and you're not ready to move on, feel free to stay there as long as you'd like, even if it's for the whole class. If you've ever been to my classes in person, you'll know that I often say, if child's pose is what you want to do for our whole class, I'll never tell you to stop. Continue with those deep breaths. When you're ready to begin adding movement, begin with some gentle shoulder circles. Whenever you're ready, switch directions. Moving up to some neck rolls, circles with the forehead. If you're lucky, we might release a little cracks, a little creaks here. And switch directions. Rising up through center, find that posture once more. Allow the shoulders to come down. With a big inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And with an exhale, come back to our cactus arms. Pull those shoulder blades back, pull those elbows back, open and spread the fingertips nice and wide. Lift the chin, turn our gaze up, big stretch, open up that chest. Big inhale, rise. And exhale, pull back. Inhale, rise. And exhale, back. Inhale, rise. This time, left arm comes down to the ground, right hand stretches overhead. Really reach with the fingertips, press that right hip down, open up that right side. Gently rise up, bring that right arm across the chest. Use our left hand to hug that arm into the chest. Draw some circles with the right wrist. Switch directions of your circles. And release that right hand down to the left knee. Left hand comes around behind us as we turn our gaze over that left shoulder. Once we find our twist, bring a big inhale in and exhale to sink a little deeper into that twist. With your next exhale, unwind to center. If your legs are crossed like mine, bring the bottom leg to the top, just to change things up a little. With an inhale, both arms sweep up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift up. Right hand comes down, left hand stretches over. This time press that left hip down, open up the left side of the body, reach with those fingertips. Rising up, left arm comes across the chest, right hand hugs it into the body. Draw some circles with that left wrist. Switch directions with your circles. Release the left hand to the right knee. Right hand comes around behind us. Turn our gaze over that right shoulder for our twist. Take a big inhale, and with your exhale, sink a little deeper into that twist. With your next exhale, return back to center. From here, slowly make your way up to our tabletop pose. Take your time here. Find a neutral spine. So we're going to bring the wrists under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, tuck that tailbone slightly, pull that belly button up towards the sky, and keep our gaze down towards the mat. Once you have that neutral spine, we're going to exhale, curl the spine, eye gaze goes between the knees for our cat pose. With an inhale, drop the belly down, chest comes through, chin rises, cow pose. Exhale, arch the back, chin tucks. Inhale, drop the belly, chest rises. Continue this a few more times on your own, moving at your own pace. Play around with these poses, with these movements. Find where it feels best for your body. Returning to our neutral spine, we're going to tuck the toes under, spread the fingertips wide, spread your weight through to the fingertips, and when you're ready, lift that tailbone up and back to come into our downward dog. In our downward dog, our heels are behind our toes, but those heels do not need to meet the mat. Our fingertips are spread wide, ears are in between those upper arms. Eye gaze is back towards the toes. Take a few breaths and pedal out the knees and the ankles here, stretching out, warming up the backs of those legs. With your next exhale, hinge out to a plank pose. Inhale, lift up, downward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, dog, and hold. Right foot goes up towards the ceiling. Point through that right toe. Lengthen out that leg. With an exhale, bring the right knee into the chest. Send it back up. Exhale, bring it in. Send it up. This time, exhale, bring it in. Step it between the hands. Left knee comes down towards the ground. Hinge the hips forward to sink into the hips. Bring the chest up, open the chest, open the chin. Relax the arms. Take a few breaths for our stretch. From here, with your next exhale, hinge the hips back. Straighten out the right leg, bring the right toes up towards the head. Coming forward, stack that knee over the ankle. Left hand stays down, right hand reaches towards the sky for a twist. You can stay here or tuck the left toes and lift that left knee up. If the left knee is lifted, release it back down to the mat. Bring the right hand down. Take your time stepping the right foot back to our plank pose. Inhale, lift up, downward dog. Optional chaturanga here. Exhale out to a plank, lower down 90 degrees or all the way. Inhale, upward dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to downward dog. Take a moment for breath in our downward dog. Optional child's pose break here. Just a few big inhales and long exhales. From here, we're switching sides. Left foot goes up towards the ceiling. Point through that toe. Lengthen up towards the sky. Exhale, knee comes into the chest. And send it up. Exhale, bring it in. Send it up. This time, exhale, step it through. Right knee comes down. Hinge those hips forward. Drop the hips. Let them stretch. Open the chest and the chin towards the sky. Relax the arms. With your next exhale, hinge back, straighten out the left leg, lift those toes towards you. Hinging forward, stack that knee over the ankle. Right hand stays down, left hand reaches up towards the sky. We can stay here or tuck the right toes, lift that right knee up. If the right knee is lifted, drop that knee down. Left hand comes down and gently step back to our plank pose. Inhale, hips rise, downward dog. Take a breath with an optional chaturanga. Exhale out 90 degrees down. Inhale, upward dog, baby cobra. And exhale, press back, downward dog. Right foot rises up. Exhale, knee to chest. Send it back. Exhale, bring it in. Send it back. Exhale, step it through. This time, keep that left knee lifted. Find your balance and begin to rise up for warrior one. Arms reach up overhead. From here, front knee is stacked right over that right ankle. Back foot can be facing front with the heel up, or an option is at an angle, heel down. Hips are square to the front, arms raised up and engaged. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Take a big inhale. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back, hold. Extend the arms out to a T and open up to our warrior two. Warrior two. Front foot stays the same, knee right over that ankle. Back foot turns parallel with the back of the mat. Arms parallel with the mat. Tuck the tailbone under. Bring the shoulders back. Take a big inhale. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Here for 3, 2, 1. Rise up through center to a star pose. So we're gonna turn those feet parallel with the sides of the mat. Arms reach up. Big inhale, maybe arch that back, reach up towards the sky. And exhale, fold it forward. Hands are going to meet the ground. Bend the knees as much as you need to bring our hands down and be grounded. We're going to lengthen out through the top of the head. So tuck that tailbone, send the shoulders back towards the hips. Take a big inhale and begin to hinge forward at the hips. Keep the chest open. Keep the chin untucked. To find that stretch. We're here for a few breaths, allowing those muscles to relax. It's time for me to take off my socks. I've warmed up a little bit. With an inhale, lift up to our flat back. Leave the left hand down on the ground. Right hand reaches up towards the ceiling or the sky. Right hand comes down. Left hand reaches up. Exhale down. Begin to walk those hands back towards the front of the mat. And step that right foot back to return to our downward dog. Take a breath in your downward dog before we switch to the next pose. We have an optional chaturanga here. Exhale out 90 degrees down. Inhale, lift upward dog, baby cobra. And exhale, press back, downward dog. Left foot lifts up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee to chest. Send it up. Exhale, bring it in. Send it up. And step it through. Keep that right knee lifted. Make any adjustments, modifications here as we begin to make our way up for warrior one. Take a moment. Remember, each side is different. So pay attention to what your body's asking for. Front knee, left knee over that left ankle. Back foot can be facing front, heel up, or at an angle, heel down. with my ankle injury on this leg, I'm leaving it facing forward, heel up, because that's what feels best. Arms reach up towards the ceiling, shoulders drop away from the ears. Take a big inhale, exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, back and hold. Open out to our T. Twist to open up to our warrior two. Back foot turns parallel with the back of the mat. Front foot stays the same. Knees stacked right over that ankle. Arms parallel with the mat. Tuck the tailbone, shoulders back. Eyes gaze over those left fingertips. Take a moment for breath here. Big inhale. Exhale, lower. With your next inhale, open up to our star pose. Turn those toes, this time out. Heels are in. Arms up. Big inhale, maybe stretch it back. And exhale, fold. We're going to come into a little sumo squat here to open up those hips. With your next exhale, we're going to bend the knees, sink the hips down low. Inhale, lift up, lengthen the legs. Exhale, sink it down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sink it down. This time we're going to pause and hold for a moment with the option to reach those hands forward. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Hands come down, lift and lengthen out those legs. Pivot the hands towards the front, step back to our downward dog. We have the option for our final chaturanga. Exhale out, lower down 90 degrees or all the way. Inhale, upward dog, baby cobra. And exhale, press back, downward dog. Whew. We got nice and warmed up today. Take a few breaths here. Begin to walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. With your next exhale, bring the knees down to the mat. Bring the big toes to touch. Send the hips back as we walk the fingertips towards the front of the mat to lower down into our child's pose. Allow your body to relax in this child's pose. Take a few deep breaths. Allow the belly to fill the space between the legs. Allow the shoulders to relax. Allow the fingertips to soften. Let the forehead melt into the mat. Take a few moments of breath just to check in with the body. Notice how it's feeling. If it feels good, to begin to walk those fingertips towards the left side of the mat to stretch out that right side of the body, feel free to do so. And with your next exhale, begin to walk those fingers to the right if you chose to do this option. With your next exhale, make your way back towards center. Leaving the elbows on the mat, bring the palms of the hands together and lift the hands over the head, bringing the thumbs towards the space between the shoulder blades for our shark fin stretch. Slowly begin to release the arms down and round the spine as we rise up to a seated position, bringing the legs out front. Once we're seated in our staff pose, we're going to plant down those heels, pull the toes back towards us, and inch the bottom back to lengthen out the legs as much as we can. Take a big inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Take another big inhale, and with your exhale, begin to hinge forward at the hips. And again, just as before, we're keeping that chest open, keeping that chin lifted. So stop when the body starts to want to curl or curve. And here is where you relax the arms down and take a few breaths. Slowly begin to rise up to a seat. We're going to take our left leg out at an angle and bring the right foot in towards the left thigh. Same as before, pull the heel, press the heel down, pull the toes back to lengthen, and then relax the leg. Reach those arms up. Drop the shoulders down. Take our left hand and reach for those left toes. Keep the body open as we reach overhead with the right arm for our stretch. From here, we're going to take that right hand and also reach for those left toes, twisting the body towards that foot as well. This is where, if you have a strap, feel free to use one here, but you also don't need to reach your foot. Your hands can be on your thigh or your shin. The point is to have that lengthening here and really be working on stretching out those muscles. From here, we're going to rise up and switch legs. Right leg goes out at an angle, left foot tucks into the body. Another gentle reminder here to just keep in mind that each side of our body is different and every day is different. So one side of your body may do more or less than what the other side could do from day to day. Once we find our pose here, lengthen out that leg, really stretch through that heel, and then relax. Both arms sweep up, drop the shoulders. Right hand reaches for the toes first, the left hand reaches overhead to lengthen that left side. When you're ready, begin to bring that left hand down as we pivot the body towards the leg. Keeping that chest open, keeping that chin untucked, finding our stretch. Rising up through center. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together to come into our seated butterfly pose. We're bringing the heels close to the body, but we want them at least a foot's distance away from the body. Allow the knees to release with gravity, so we're not pressing them down, we're just letting them go where they want to go. We're going to find our posture, sitting up nice and tall, drop the shoulders down, allow the eyes to close. Bring our thumbs down to the arches of the feet, the ankles or the calves, and add a little pressure wherever it feels good. Take a few moments to just focus on your breath and the movement of the fingers. Whenever you're ready, begin to bring the knees together, plant the feet back on your mat. Bring the hands behind the thighs and gently release yourself down to the mat, bringing the knees into the chest. We're hugging the knees into the chest by holding on behind the thighs or the shins, anywhere but the kneecaps. Begin to draw some circles with the knees, keeping the legs together, just giving that lower back a little release, a little massage, grounding ourselves to our mats. Switch direction of your circles. Hug the knees into the chest. From here, we're going to take our right leg and extend it down towards the mat. Our left leg is going to extend up towards the sky, hands wrapped behind the thigh. We're pressing up through those heels, pull the toes down, really feel a deep stretch in the back of the left leg. From here, we can begin to add a little ankle roll with that left ankle. And then switch direction of your roll. Return back to stillness. Bring the left knee back into the chest. Using your right hand, bring that left knee down onto the right side of the mat. We want to keep the left shoulder grounded, so as soon as that left shoulder starts to lift up, just bring that knee back a little bit. Take our left hand and extend it out to the left, fingertips out, palms facing up towards the sky, and then turn your gaze towards those fingers. Take a few deep breaths here with our exhales. Notice if you can fall a little deeper into the twist. Take your time to notice if your body's asking for adjustments, modifications. You can tuck the left ankle under the right leg. You can extend the left leg out long if that feels good. Just play around with what your body's asking for and what feels the best. Whenever you're ready, begin to rotate back towards center. We're switching legs. Right knee comes into the chest, left leg goes down. Holding on to the back of the right thigh, extend that right leg up towards the sky. Press up through that heel, pull the toes down, really feel that stretch in the back of the right leg. When and if you're ready, begin to add a little circle with that ankle. And switch directions. From here, bring that right knee into the chest. Left hand guides that right leg down onto the left side of the body. Same thing here. We want to keep that right shoulder grounded. So as soon as that right shoulder wants to rise, just bring that leg back a little bit. Extend the right arm out long, palm turned up towards the ceiling. Send it through the fingertips. Turn your gaze to those fingertips and just take a few deep breaths. With your exhales, notice if you can sink a little deeper into the twist. Begin to notice those adjustments. If your body's asking you to extend that right leg out, to tuck that ankle under the leg, to do whatever, just listen to the body. Make those adjustments as needed. When you're ready, begin to bring those legs back to center. And we're going to make our way to our Savasana pose. I always give my students the option to pick whatever Savasana pose is speaking to them today. So some options, of course, are bringing those feet out to the edges and allowing the knees to meet together in the center. You can always come into our supine butterfly pose, bottoms of the feet together, knees out. Any pose that's speaking to you, or you can just come into our traditional Savasana pose, legs out long, arms by our sides, palms up towards the sky. As we settle into our own personal Savasana pose, take the time to make adjustments. Untuck the tailbone, ground yourself through that lower back. Tuck the shoulder blades under the spine. Turn the palms up towards the sky. Bring the shoulders away from the ears, lengthen the arms. Allow the eyes to close. And just begin to focus on your breath for a few moments. Continue laying in your Savasana pose, and I will guide you through a gentle full body relaxation. As I'm talking, please make sure to maintain that breath. Deep inhales through the nose, fill the belly, long exhales through the mouth. Starting with the toes, curl, tighten, and then relax. Notice the arches of the feet and soften the ankles. If our legs are out long, allow the toes and the feet to fall away from each other. Notice any tension in the knees. Maybe gently squeeze those kneecaps and thighs, and then relax them. Allow them to soften into the mat. Squeeze the glutes and gently release. Bring in a big inhale. Fill that belly as high as you can. Lift that belly button towards the sky as much as you can. And then exhale very slowly, dropping that belly button down to the spine as slowly as you can. Repeat this one more time. Big inhale, fill that belly as much as you can. And then exhale very slowly, very gently, releasing through the mouth. Soften the fingertips and the palms of the hands, maybe making a tight fist, and then gently releasing and relaxing. Notice the weight of the elbows pressing into the mat beneath you. And notice any tension that may still be hiding in the shoulders. Notice if we can add an inch or two between the shoulders and the ears, maybe lengthening those arms, bringing the fingertips a little closer towards the bottom of the mat. With our next inhale, notice the chest rising, and exhale, notice the chest falling. Maybe the gentle movement of clothing with these inhales and exhales. Soften the jaw, relax the tongue, allow the lips to part. Soften the cheekbones and the eyelids, and bring attention to the center of the forehead. With the last few moments of today's class, I invite you to think of an intention that you can carry with you throughout the rest of the day or the week or the month. Just something positive that we can bring out into the world. Something that we can carry with us and keep reminding ourselves. invite you to stay in your Savasana for as long as you'd like. If you would like to rise to a seated position, very slowly, very gently, however your body allows you to, feel free to rise to a seated position. Eyes closed, hands at heart center. If we are in a seated position, take an inhale, bring the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, relax. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. And exhale, release. Thank yourselves for coming to practice today, and I thank you for allowing me to guide your practice today. The energy in me honors the energy in you. Namaste.